Hey Jazz,
Yes, Mary.
what did you do before you were a realtor?
Before I become a realtor, I have done a lot of jobs. To begin with, I started my career in 2008 when I came to Canada on a worker visa. I was working in an Indian restaurant called Desi Junction as a server. I worked there for 2 years. And in 2010, when I got my permanent residency, I moved to Kelowna. After moving to Kelowna, I worked there for almost 2 years, year and a half. And then I find out I was doing a very good job there. It was a good, handsome money. I was making it actually close to $10,000 at that time. And I talked to myself, I said, this is not giving me enough growth, potential to my potential where I can reach to. So I told my wife, let's pack up bags. During that time, we were not having any kids. So it was me and my wife. We packed our bags. No job in Surrey. We came back in a Honda Civic with all the clothes in the trunk, and that's it. With two suitcases, came back to Surrey because I know if I come to the Surrey is a big city, and I can expand. There's more opportunities. Come here with no job. I had to work in a pizza store in White Rock actually on Marine Drive. It used to be called Fresh Slice. It's not there anymore. They have closed the location. But I worked there as a pizza delivery guy. I worked there for 2 months. Then I get a job in White Spot as a manager. Working there for 2 weeks, I got another opportunity to own a restaurant, to buy a restaurant. And I quit that job. It was a really good package. I got it. There was paid holidays, 14 days, dental covered, medical covered, all those things were there. But that's what not the reason for me to come to Canada was. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to do work for myself. And I was looking for the right opportunity to come in. And here it come in 2012. I come across with a restaurant. A gentleman was selling a restaurant for $100,000. We did a negotiation. I break it down to $60,000, and I only had $15,000 in my pocket that time, and that was my all saving. All I have saved it for last 3-4 years in my bank, and I put it all in. But still, I was shortfall of plenty of money. What's the number? Would be $45,000. Then I brought two more partners with me. Everybody chip in 15-15. So we came to 45. So what happened was that, when you're working hard for something to get it, destiny also started working on that side. So what happened actually was that during the course, I was going to the banks also, going back and forth with those small business loans and everything. It didn't work. They didn't give me the bank. But the lady actually at RBC who was working, she was a business advisor, and she helped me. She said that I've seen the amount of hard work you were putting in. Every day you were coming here with a lot of paperwork, whatever I'm asking it, and I feel about it. You trying to start a new business. This is what is in my hand is you have a good credit score. I can prove you a $15,000 line of credit. Would you be okay with that? We went there to get a loan of $100,000. I said anything will help me. So even if you can get me $15,000, I'll do it. So long story short, so we come up to $60,000 with the new partners. I brought it in because I said, okay, with my 15 and another 15 from line of credit, still 30. How I'm gonna have another 30? I brought two more partners with me who used to work with me in a previous restaurant, Desi Junction. So we started it and just opened up a restaurant business in South Surrey, used to call Curry Sensation. And when we signed the lease, landlord asked me how much money you have it in your bank. I said, don't worry, we cover you up for the whole year. I bluntly lied. I didn't have a money to pay for the next month rent. You know how the people say when they make a business plan, you should have 3 months of backup in your business. All those numbers, all those philosophies, nothing was favoring me. I had no money in my account. I had taken the maximum money out of the bank. Only thing which I knew I could do it is the confidence I was having it that I can run this restaurant business. I was able to do it. And we started it with no money, and luckily first month when we could cover the rent. And I still remember I used to go to Save on Food right at the 152nd and 32. There was a Save on Foods. I used to put in the windshield in the during the lunch hour break. I used to take out menus because that time we couldn't afford the labor to hire a labor or somebody to distribute the menus. So I was going myself, putting it on the windshields of every car because there was a small coupon at the bottom which I was telling the people to, like, it's just bringing them to the restaurant. So they look at the menu, they look at the coupon, and they can come to the restaurant. One day a manager caught me and he called me. I still remember in the driveway he called me and he said, this is a soliciting, you cannot do it. At that time I had no idea what it is all called about. I said, okay, what do you mean I can't do it? I cannot put it in the on the windshields? He said, no, you cannot do it. It's illegal. I said, okay, fine, no problem. I didn't stop it. I didn't go to the same plaza. I went to another plaza next day. What I had was it like I was not stopped by objections. I was finding my way out how I can make it successful. And mind you, when I sold my restaurant also, it was doing good sales. And when I quit my restaurant career, I was making six figures. My annual income was close to $150,000. When I quit it and started, I wanted to be a realtor from the scratch. I just said, okay, done. I wanted to do another business. Yeah, so that's a story behind how I started Career Sensation, how my friend, who was my partner at that time, helped me. We all get together. We all were at the same stage, didn't have money. We all went in because, and one thing more worked for me was that my back was against the wall. I knew it. I don't have money to feed myself, my savings in there. If I lose this, I'm done. So that gives me a more drive that I, no matter what, I have to be successful. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it is. Brought me to being a restaurant owner then. Started from the scratch and then I become a realtor. The rest is history. Here I am being a realtor since 2016.
So, what made you decide to become an entrepreneur versus going to school and getting a regular 9 to 5 job?
Honestly, money was the main reason I wanted to be an entrepreneur, because I could see that if I'm working for somebody, I will not able to achieve what I wanted to achieve in my life. And when I also the freedom I wanted it, it was difficult in the beginning. But look at now, I work according to my own schedule. I'm not answerable to anybody. I take days off on weekends. Initial 6 years of my real estate career, it was difficult, like first 4 or 5 years. But then from last almost 2 years, I'm not working on weekends. So yeah, nothing wrong in working 9 to 5. By the way, I was not meant for that. I was not. I cannot. I feel like I had the potential to grow more, and I could do that only if I work for myself and not for somebody else. That's what brought me to be an entrepreneur.
So, why did you decide to go into the restaurant industry first versus any other business?
Oh, that's the only business I knew it, because back in India, my family was running the same business. They were having a hotel there, and then some mishappening happened. My dad passed away. We were having some financial crisis. We had to sell off those hotels. I did the hotel management during the course when I was studying there, and then that's how I got my worker visa to Canada. So, long story short, that was the only thing I know it how to do it. And real estate was always back of my mind that I wanted to do it, but I was waiting for the right time, because I knew it as a self or as doing something in sales. You have to be self-dependent on finances. Like, we could be time when you cannot have 2 3 months of sale. So would you have the finances for that? That was the only reason I didn't want to jump right away becoming a realtor. But yeah, so that's how I started a restaurant business. I said, okay, let's go with the restaurant business, because I knew it. I started my career back in India when I was 19. And I was always telling my friend also, when I opened up a restaurant, if we fail in this, because I opened it up, what age was it? Probably 30, 34 or 32, something. And I told him that, listen, if we fail in this, we are doing this business, not the business, but we are in this industry from last 15 years. And if we fail, we are not going to be failing in a restaurant business. We fail in our life, because that's the only thing we know it. And if we can't even do that, we are anyways a failures. So we have nothing to lose. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to go. We know it. We're going to do it. It was a nice restaurant. So the rest is history. Here I am being a realtor since 2016.